Hey everybody, Dan here, and I'm joined by Andrea, and this is, we're going to call it Season 2 of the Dan and Andrea Awesome Show, and where we are telling you about books that we've read. As our last video, we each read a 7-day book, and we're going to tell you about those, and then we'll tell you what next month's book will be, but I'll let Andrea go first.
Hi, so we had chosen this, the spinner had chosen 7-day book. And so the 7-day book I chose was The Fated Sky by Mary Robinette Kowal. This is actually book 2 of the Lady Astronaut novels. We do have book 1, Calculating the Stars, and book, which I have read, but I have not read book 3 yet, The Relentless Moon. These would be science fiction, alternate history type would be more of the genre. And the author started with a what if. What if a meteor, like a big, massive meteor, hit Chesapeake Bay, much like the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs, hit Earth in the Chesapeake Bay area, which of course then created the probably extinction level event on the Earth for all life. So, but this is taking place just right after the Korean War, which would be the late 50s, early 60s. And so what you have is women who are the human calculators who are helping with the space program. But these women were also pilots in World War II. And they're going, excuse us, why aren't we permitted to be astronauts? Why do we have to be just the human computers only? And so these first 2 books are about Elma York, who is the lady astronaut. This one is about all of the women with Elma York, but this one concentrates solely on Elma York. This one is back to the women again. And so how do they get to be more than just a human computer? Because they really want to be astronauts also. And so you have the issue of a woman belongs in the home. The race issue is also very prevalent in these books because of the time period. But it's a well-written series, and if you like strong women who are wanting to step outside the social norm, who want to be able to do what they want, these are really good series, and I really want to read this one to see. I don't know if there's going to be any more after this, but I really do want to continue reading the series. Incredible, awesome books to read. But the thing is, they talked about the human computers, and so that made me then kind of curious. And so we have Rise of the Rocket Girls, which is about the human computers with from doing the math for the missiles to the moon to Mars. And of course, the Hidden Figures, which was also turned into a movie. And so you also have, again, the story of the women who were the human calculators that this tells. And then, because these women were also pilots, we have a bunch of books like The Wasps, Women Air Force Service Pilots of World War II. And we have Fly Girls, the 5 daring women who defied odds and made aviation history. And this is another book about the women Air Force Service pilots of World War II. And this is a brand new one that we've got, The Women with Silver Wings. Again, the women's airplane pilots who did a lot of stuff in this country, and they were more, I think, varying the planes from here to there. And so this is a really good fictional series, but it really grabs what was happening here with the human computers, but also with the women who were the flyers in World War II. Just a really good series. Even if you don't like science fiction really isn't what's in these books. It's all about the human relationship and women trying to be who they are wanting to think they should be and want to be, and their husbands who support them. So, Dan.
All right. I picked Kent State for Dead in Ohio by Durf Backdurf, which who is also the author of the award-winning graphic novel My Friend Dahmer. about his experiences going to high school with Jeffrey Dahmer. But and he has also written Trashed, an ode to the crap job of all crap jobs, as well, about his experiences working as a garbage person. But I read this book, and I didn't really know a whole lot about the shooting at Kent State by the National Guardsmen, other than it happened. So this was a really interesting book because it starts out with the events preceding May 4th, 1970. So it starts on May 1st, but it references, I think, late April as well, when President Nixon had announced that we were going to invade Cambodia. And it breaks down kind of in detail all the events that happened and kind of why they happened up to the May 4th incident. And it talks about both the students and the National Guardsmen and their experiences that they were having before and after all of this happening. And it goes into detail about the mystery of why they opened fire. And, they're still unsure if they were told to open fire or what happened in there. He goes into detail about some of this as well, and then it ends up talking about the aftermath of this as well, and kind of how this incident kind of sparked a national conversation about the Vietnam War in general, and was kind of the starting point of America leaving Vietnam. I definitely would recommend this book, especially if you don't know much about it. It's a very good starting off point, and I've already in our library loaned a couple other things to read that go in a little bit more detail. The newspaper in Kent, Iowa, where the university is, Ohio, I'm sorry. The reporters there actually wrote a book that was an award-winning book about the experience, so I'm going to get that to read, I think, as a first-hand kind of narrative as well. And the author, when he was just a kid when this happened, but he remembers seeing National Guardsmen in his hometown who were sent there by the governor to stop some protester, or a union strike, I should say. And then those National Guardsmen were actually sent to Kent State University. So this is really great. I highly recommend it. The artwork also is really great. I should mention that. It really much does remind me of R. Crumb. I don't know if anyone knows who that is, but you kind of see his art style here as well. But it's very engaging and engrossing and kind of powerful in its artwork. So I definitely would check this out. But let's go to our Spinny Wheel and see what our next topic's going to be. Hey everybody, Dan here, and we're going to pick the next book for Andrea and I to read. Here we go. All right, that's what we're reading. Oh, we got under 200 pages. That's what we got to read next.
Yes.
So I haven't quite decided what I'll read next. I'll do some investigating, but I've thought about maybe I'll pick something downstairs to read in the youth section, like a youth chapter book, or maybe like this James Patterson book shots, or maybe just a short novella. I don't know. What are you gonna think about reading, Andrea?
Well, when I found out that the Spinny Wheel had picked under 200 pages, I pulled out my handy dandy, all the books that I keep writing down that I want to read that I haven't gotten to yet, and I pulled out the ones that were novellas. And one of them is Cricket on the Hearth by Charles Dickens. Another one that I could possibly read is Lights Go Out in Litchford, which is book 4 of the Witches of Litchford series by Paul Cornell. We have, I know, at least book 1 or 2, unless we've gotten rid of them. There's Connie Willis, who does sci-fi. Take a look at the 5 and 10, which was, I love Connie Willis, so I'll read anything she writes. And then I found out that Craig Johnson had done a novella, which would be like a 7.5 in the series. It's called Divorce Horse. So I've got my novellas that I can look for and look and decide which one I want to pick and read.
So we'll see you next month with whatever we pick, and we'll tell you about them. If you have any recommendations for under 200-page book you think we should check out, leave them in the comments. Bye.
Bye.